Okay, I remember a couple of years ago hearing a story about they forced down a chemtrail plane. I believe this was in Jordan. I started looking it up. They've been forcing down or shooting down chemtrail planes in other countries, more civilized countries. And I was able to find a couple instances. I couldn't find the one about Jordan. They try to, a lot of times, try to suppress a lot of this stuff. They can't suppress it all. But anyway, here's one. This is a chemtrail plane shot down in China. And I started researching and find out this. One of the guys there was one survivor, and he says he works for this place right here. You know, U.S. Naval Medical Research, Unit 2, Department in Phnom Penh. And sure enough, they do work on viruses and diseases, and there's so much secrecy there that the government in Indonesia wanted to shut this place down. Apparently they haven't yet. It's hard to... It's interesting, Indonesia, you know, that's when they had that plane disappear a couple of years ago. And I put up a couple of videos about that on Jim Howe channel. Planes don't just disappear, alright? Not in this day and age. Maybe in the 40s a plane could disappear. Not nowadays. I mean, they got all kinds of tracking information on these planes. They know exactly where they are. So, and I always believed that this probably had something to do with retaliation, because in Kuala Lumpur, Indonesia, they had this war crimes tribunal found the U.S. and Israel guilty of war crimes. Next thing you know, one of their planes disappears. Then shortly after that, one of them is blown up over Ukraine. And it's interesting, Ukraine keeps coming up in these things as well. The plane was owned by this company called Aviant Aviation. They had owned one plane with at least 3 others. It went bankrupt and was taken over. And this was in this incident was in 2009, and they do mention the crash here. Okay, November 28, 2009, the Aviant McDonnell Douglas MD-11F took out from Shanghai Pudong International Airport, resulting in the death of 3 people. Well, this article was saying that Israeli agents sabotaged this plane. It wasn't shot down, it was sabotaged, according to this article. And it was Israel that did it. Now that sounds kind of strange, but the claim is this was going to spray some stuff over a Jewish community that lived there. Then they fled Russia when Stalin started cracking down on the J people and doing what Hitler said wished he had done. So what do you make of that? J people destroying chemtrail planes? Are Jays killing Jays? What's going on? Well, I mean, I have seen evidence that may be going on. Well, I know there's been a battle between like the Orthodox Jews and the Zionist Jews. They hate each other for a long time. This might have something to do with it, because it sounds like this was an Orthodox community and it was sabotaged. So I don't know. I don't know what the details are. I'm not 100% certain that this is even true. But anyway, getting to this Aviant Aviation company was taken over by AV Cargo, which only had one plane. All right. This was in 2013, and then in 2014, it went out of business. Now, they don't have much luck, do they? Now, a lot of these people seem to do is they deliberately bankrupt countries, but they always take a cut. Everybody else loses. The workers lose their jobs. The government often loses. I just heard, not today, Bernie Sanders' wife, you know, she's involved with a scandal right now. She got this college going, and then it went bankrupt, and now she's being sued. Well, what happened is, it looks like she deliberately bankrupted this thing, which is what these people do. Yet, she managed to get some lawyers and got a settlement where she had this golden umbrella thing where she left with, where she got $200,000. So the Catholic Church lost like $2 million, and these people hate the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church lost $2 million, the taxpayers lost thousands, and the students, they probably paid for schooling, which they didn't get, and employees of the school are out of a job. So everybody loses except this J woman. And I suspect that's probably what they do here, but they're using, apparently these companies, now another one I heard was called Evergreen Air, And now it's also, it only lasted a short time and it went bankrupt. And this was in McMinnville, Oregon, which is interesting. The spruce goose, which is Howard Hughes' is a big giant plane, which never did end up being used, is housed in this place. And why McMinnville, Oregon? Because it's kind of like a little town out in the middle of nowhere. You know, you'd think something like that, you'd put it in a larger place. Now, I've heard that museum is having trouble, I heard. But, I mean, just a lot of weird things. McMinnville, Oregon is also famous now. They have UFO things there because somebody saw a UFO there. Well, you know, they've seen UFOs everywhere. I've taken video of UFOs over the Duluth hillside several times, okay? But what's so special about McMinnville, Oregon? You see, there's something going on there that us common mortals don't know about, obviously. But anyway, here's another one I heard about. And this one is interesting. This was a 2014 thing. U.S. reported in panic after chemtrail planes forced down in India and Nigeria. Now this one is saying that the Chinese intelligence found out they were spraying swine flu. They, you know, if you recall a few years ago, they were trying to create the swine flu epidemic. And they were saying, oh, it was going to be a pandemic. And they were going to try to force people to get vaccinated. And then they were going to have up to 10 years in prison if you refuse these vaccinations. And the man to stop it. And this woman named Jane Burgermeister was one of the main people that put a stop to it. Now, I did videos on her back in the day. I think on this channel, or maybe. And it's interesting that the Chinese government told India and Nigeria about this, and they forced them down. And then the U.S. was in a fury demanding that you release their pilots and their planes. And these were Ukrainian they were Ukrainian planes, so, but it was owned by the CIA, the U.S. government. Bought Ukrainian planes and were spraying chemtrails, which are biological, which they found contained swine flu. Now, the U.S. demanded that they release them. India released it right away. Nigeria resisted until one of the terrorist organizations funded by the CIA blew up one of their pipelines, and so then they decided to release the planes too. See, this is what they do. They bully people into doing whatever they want. But I haven't been able to find out if it recently, this was 2014, any more recently, other chemtrail planes have been shot down. And people might be wondering, why are they doing it? Well, the plan seems to be, now, I can't say it's all the J people, because they're also being targeted. I've heard they're spraying chemtrails over Israel. They're spraying chemtrails over New York, which has got a very high J population. So, it's hard to know, but at least some of these, like these Masons, these elite family Masons, seems like they want to kill everybody, including J and non-J alike. They are apparently of J descent. I think these are descendants of the people who killed Christ. It's like they're just evil is in their blood. Okay, the plan of these people, from everything I've been able to read and understand, is they want to wipe out all non-J people who they consider to be unfit to survive, and keep a handful of what they call Sabbath Goy, which are half J, 500 million, I think is about, and keep them for slaves for the J people, at least the highfalutin ones. This seems to be the plan. It's more complicated than just it's all J people, okay? Because many of them are also being victimized. Most of them don't appear to be in the know of what these massive campaigns, because I don't think they would be too happy if they knew they were also being poisoned. Kosher food is being poisoned. You know, Scott Roberts, was saying that you should eat kosher food. Well, even kosher food's being poisoned. You know, you're best growing your own food, living off the grid. That's the best if you can do it. Unfortunately, not everybody can do it, but if you can, that's what's best. So I don't know what all is going on with all these intrigues, but they have found that these chemtrails are being used for planned genocide. And California's got more thing where they're trying to get with their legislators to put a stop to this, but so far I don't know that anybody's stopped. It seems like there's less going on now. Maybe all the public awareness and putting pressure on the politicians is maybe starting to pay off. Because most of them are like, deny, 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 it's not happening, nothing's going on, this isn't going on here. These pictures are all fake, of course. I've taken pictures like that myself. Our skies up here have looked like this at times. Or worse. They're still spraying the stuff up here. Of course, I keep running my mouth down. And here's one, chemtrail plane crashed. This is in Ventura, California. Trying to find out when this happened. There's hardly any information. Boeing 747 crashes and doesn't give you much. 2011. They got that one from China again here. I suppose it's inevitable that there's more crashes. I'll try to put on energy that they crash. Of course, you got some debunking sites up there, but debunkers, I mean, it's pretty hard to debunk some of this stuff. I mean, it's just too damn obvious. I mean, the person's got to be really stupid or really in denial to believe the debunking. No, that's supposed to be a normal plane right there. That's just... How do you explain that? How do debunkers explain this? Okay. Well, they can't accept the truth, so they'll have to explain it somehow. Snowden is talking about this now. Snowden, of course, he's got the cover story. And the cover story is because they can't lie to everybody in the government and the military. They say it's a benevolent program to counter global warming. Okay, no, it's not. That's the cover story. Because you got to realize you got to have 8 people in the military flying these planes and in charge of this program. And you got to tell something to the politicians who are getting questions from their constituents. What the hell's going on? It's a secret program. We're just but it's for our benevolence. If it was for our benevolence, why would they need to keep it secret? See, that's the cover story. See, they have to do cover stories to get people, because our politicians and the people in our military wouldn't go along with this if they realized that this is designed to kill us. Okay, I tell them it's good. It's kind of global warming. See, that's the con, and apparently Snowden has swallowed the con.